Independent catalyst test report. Is there a market for this? We've been studying this question from the beginning in a form of market research. But our market research is not the traditional kind. We don't send out surveys. Instead, what we've been doing is we'll make tangible offers and see who accepts the offers. And those who do are the ones who shape what we do. So we're measuring the market as we go along by seeing who accepts what we offer. And we're going to look at that here, but let's first quickly recap the previous modules. We know for sure there are some confused customers out there, people who want to make good decisions for their refineries, but they're confused by product proliferation. To simplify things, we reduced the hundreds of options down to this single matrix, focused on specific cobalt moly products from different generations of offerings from these three suppliers. Now there's lots of published data for these products, but when you put that all together, it's not enough really to provide the confidence people need to step out and use new and different catalysts. So a way to address that is by independent testing on a common test track. Our first-year test program focused on cross-vendor testing of these competitive cobalt moly catalysts from different generations of Type 2 catalysts. And we got some surprising results that gave new insights and really changed the way we and our clients saw this. Now, to get back to the market research question, this chart is showing a timeline that goes back to May of 2009, which is when we started. At that time, we had no clients and no catalysts to test. We started by sending out a request for participation to 15 independent refiners, and that request described our plan and asked who wanted to submit catalysts to the program. And we found there were a few people who were very interested. They submitted samples, and they were tested in our summer 2009 pilot plant run. And that was a little piece of market research in the sense that we found some people willing to pay to have a catalyst tested in a program like this. And then a few more people submitted samples, and that showed there was some more market, and those samples were tested in our winter pilot plant run. So the process by which this all happened wasn't quite as neat and clean as it might have been suggested by my recap a minute ago. And in fact, the catalyst sample set that we tested came about partly from an exercise in market research, that is, finding out who was willing to pay money to have a catalyst tested. But anyway, we ended up with a great set of catalysts to test, and all the results are in Independent Catalyst Report 2010, which is available for immediate delivery to anyone for a price of $50,000 or $75,000 if you're a refiner bigger than 1 million barrels per day. And I want to say here that that cost is really cheap for a 12-day test with full analytical workup on 8 catalysts. And the reason it's cheap is because we've stripped out a lot of cost, and because the cost is shared among many clients. Is there a market for this? Yes, we know that because we have some paying customers. But there's still a big question: how big is it? And we really want more independent refiners to buy into our program. So I'm doing more market research right now as I ask the independent refiners out there, from what you've seen, is this independent testing program and the report that goes with it worth $50,000 to you? If the answer is yes, we really want you to join our list of clients. And if you do, you'll get this report the next day, and you'll go to the top of the list of those who will influence what we do next. And I'm happy to meet face-to-face with any independent refiner in the U.S. who is potentially interested in our work. Or if you're outside the U.S., we can set up a telephone call or web conference for this. Our contact information will come up in a moment. Thanks a lot for taking the time to listen.